So are you a business owner that perhaps has some questions and you feel that no matter what happens, no one can answer the question that you specifically have? Well, I've been given quite a few questions recently that I want to provide the answers to and show you how you can do that for yourself when it comes to growing on Google or Google My Business, using that to benefit your business too. So I'm going to look at some of your questions today, show you how to answer those questions by perhaps going through a couple of demonstrations for you. And then down below, if you've still got a question that's not been answered in this video, then put it down below and I'll try my very best to answer questions in a series of videos in the coming months ahead. So if you want to know how to do something when it comes to growing your business on Google or Google My Business or some local SEO, then make sure you put your question down below. But I'm going to now answer some of your questions. Welcome to my video. So I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I help businesses grow and help them to improve their presence when it comes to being found by customers and clients, whether it's through local search, using Google My Business, or just doing the right thing at the right time, making business sense so that you can continue to get customers coming to your services, buying your products and improving your business. So sometimes we do have questions. And it's great if you can ask someone who really knows answers to those questions. If you can ask an expert to give you an answer to a question you've had, that can be really useful sometimes. And we all have it. We all need it. So what questions have you been sending my way over the past few weeks? Well, I'm going to take each one now. I'm going to answer as best as I can. And hopefully your questions will be answered by what we look at today. And if they're not, then make sure you subscribe and then put a comment down below as to what question you have that no one seems to be able to answer on YouTube or when you've done some research on the internet. So let's dive straight into our first question. So this is from a YouTube subscriber in Delhi, India. And they want to know, can you change the language so that the comments or the information on a YouTube video or on Google My Business, basically any Google product, can you change it? How do you change it so that you can read it in a native language for you? So I'm going to show you how to do this by jumping straight onto the computer now. And the easy way to do this is if you just click on any of Google's items, you click on Account, and then you'll find it takes you through to your personal information. If you click on Data and Personalization, this is now where you can then control the language. So if you come down, you'll see Languages, and if you click on there, and let's just say, for example, that you wanted it in Hindi. So you can click on here, you start typing in the language that you want, and there's Hindi, and you just click on that. If you wanted it to say be in, say, English, but in India, then you just type in English, and click on that, and then you can still choose which country you're from, so that then you still get the spellings correct and so on. There's just it's kind of really simple way of changing languages. You can also add an extra language if that's what you want as well. So hopefully that answers that question there from my subscriber in India. So question number 2 is from Tony Khong, and this was on a YouTube comment, and he asked the question: do you have a video on how to change your website on Google My Business? I've created a website, but Google My Business has created one automatically for me. I'd like to know how to change it to the one I personally created. That's a good question, and it's a really easy way to answer that as well. So let's dive straight in, and I'll show you how you can easily change your website to the right website, to your personal website, rather than the one that Google My Business has created. I think what he's referring to is if you click on website here, you'll notice that you do have a website that is kind of semi-built by Google itself, and that's one that often you can refer to. So if you actually wanted to, you could have this as a website, and it's a one-page business website. It's not the most perfect website, but certainly for starting out, if you've got no budget, that would be useful. But Tony Khong actually wants to know, how can you make sure that you don't reference this, but you reference your actual external website, your professional website? And to do that, you just need to go into Info. And then if you just come down, you'll see here, you have this World Wide Web, and you just click on that. And that's where you put your web address. So if you wanted to put the Google one, which is probably what you've got, you then just put that Gmail, that G page
address. But if not, then you would just put whatever your HTML is for your external website. You just change that, click apply, and that's how you do it.
So the third question is from a Zanet Design website visitor from the Coventry area. And he says this: how long does it take for Google My Business to open my shop when I've just reopened it? So we'll assume that what you've done is you've told Google that you're now open, and it seems to be a pending thing rather than ready for review, rather than opening immediately. Now, Google's made this where sometimes things are manually checked, and that's the challenge is that normally if you don't allow about 48 hours for a change to take place, then sometimes there's a delay factor. But I find from my experience that normally within a day to 2 days, any changes I make then get updated immediately. So hopefully by the time you see this video, you'll find that those changes have now taken place. And if not, put a comment below and we'll see if we can take a further look at what the issue is. But hopefully that answers most of your questions, because a lot of people have asked that question. I've reopened it, nothing's happened on Google My Business. So it's just a case of giving it maybe a couple of days. So this fourth question is from Mike Sheen, who's from Bright and Beautiful Cleaning in the Newbury area. And this was a really interesting question. He has a franchise of businesses. He has them in 4 different towns in a nearby area. And he was wanting to know, do you call each one the same name, or do you kind of break it up so that they've also got their location included? And it was a question he just put to me randomly, really, on one of my discussions. And we then took an example of B&Q to try and answer his question. So I'm going to dive in now and show you what happened, and then we'll look at his response when he then did the suggested technique.
So with Mike's question in mind, I just use the example of B&Q because they're a large company in the UK area, and they have different outlets, so a bit like different franchises. Then it's good to see how would they work, how do they do it, because Google's unlikely to suddenly consider all these companies spamming if they're doing it a certain way. And in their example, I just did a local search. I notice here that B&Q, so they have a Poole branch, they have a Christchurch branch and a Bournemouth branch. And if you click through to their websites, you'll notice that they all go to the same website, but they just go to a different part of the website. So for instance, if I go to the Bournemouth one, it goes to a landing page that's specifically to Bournemouth. And if I go back and click on the Christchurch one, then it goes to one in Christchurch. So they've got specific landing pages for specific parts of the same branch. They're not all called B&Q only, they're called B&Q with the location. And of course, if I type in show me a B&Q in Christchurch, that's going to be heavily found. So I think that's good practice, and they've done it the right way. But you do have to act with caution, because if you're, say for example, if you don't have Christchurch, if you don't have a landing page, if you're not referred to as B&Q Christchurch as that part of the company, you do run the risk of being considered spammy. Google has made this where they're rewarding quite heavily if you do have the local area's name or location within your title, within your business title. So I think this is something they still need to readdress to get the balance right at the moment, because not all companies have the title or the location in their title and their business title. But that's what happened there, and it seems to be working very well for Bright and Beautiful Cleaning, which is great to hear.
Zanet, I'm sorry to message twice in one day, but I wanted to share my excitement with you. And here we go, look, you see Marlborough on 607, we never seen numbers that high. Hungerford on 33758, Newbury on 85262, and Thatcher on 888176. That's thanks to your advice. If you want to use those images as some kind of a promo, or maybe you want to do a before and after case study or something, very happily send those to you, or we'll check them over the next 3 or 4 days and see where they peak at. And then if you want me to do a little piece that says, you know, old numbers, new numbers, thanks to your influence, happy to do that if you want. I feel I'll make it one of your sort of test cases or something, or white papers maybe. Alright, cheers for now, thank you, have a good weekend.
Now there is of course some word of caution here, because if your business is just a case you're putting in the location and that's not truly representative of your business, well, then that could be viewed as a spamming technique by Google. And people have been blacklisted or they have been suspended because they've misrepresented to try and get this gain by putting a location as if it was their business name. So this was something that was Mike was aware of. It's something that you need to be aware of as well, that you can use a location, but it has to be truly representative of your business. So you kind of want that consistency seen on Facebook and in other areas where you've got citations. And if you can consistently show that that is exactly what your business is known as locally, well, then Google kind of allows for that. But I would say you have to be careful on this. And I've made that clear to Mike, and I'm sure I'll make that clear to you again, that that's something that Google is looking into to make sure that it's not because it gives so many gains. I think that's the reason why. So if you've got a genuine location in your business, you're probably going to find you're always going to have a good deal of traffic under the current algorithm that Google's using for Google My Business. So the fifth question is from SMS South Africa, and they mention on YouTube in a comment there that they had followed the guide to adding social media to your Google My Business references. So we looked at how you can encourage Google to spider and see where your references are to your social media. And hopefully they'll then show those icons in your dashboard, in your knowledge area, in a knowledge panel in the coming weeks ahead. And for me, it took just a couple of weeks before it started to pick up a few extra ones as well. And I know others have found that's been the case. But he makes an interesting point that there could be one other thing that we didn't cover in that video. So I'm going to put the link to that video if you want to know how you can have Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, how you can get them to show up, or YouTube, have them appearing in your knowledge panel for your business in your Google My Business section. So you can't actually add them themselves, but you can encourage Google to add them for you. So have a look at that video above now in a link, and that will help you there. Now, he brings out a thought here, which I think is a very valid thought, that actually though, Google is still not going to reference those if it sees that you have a very low amount of social activity on those accounts. So having regular activity is really important too. So rather than just linking through to a Facebook that's not had any information on since 2018, you need to also be inputting information, getting regular reviews, having regular posts on the social media areas as well. And maybe that will also be part of why Google then would list it, because it sees it as current, it sees it as being used regularly. Now, I think that's a very valid point. It's unproven, but what I will say is I did have a video, which again I'll put a link to, that shows you that there's a great piece of software that enables you literally within the 2 or 3 seconds of a click of a button to not just update your Google My Business on a regular basis, and certainly on a weekly basis, but also to update things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all with one click. So it's called Publer, and I'll put the link above for you so that you can see that. Now, the 6th question is a common question, one that I get asked quite often. And this is from Diving Los Gigantes in Puerto de Santiago, Spain. So his question is, and this is a common question, is I followed the video. So you've seen one of my videos, he's a subscriber, he's followed the videos, and he's then found that something on his dashboard doesn't seem to appear as it does on my dashboard. So for example, he was looking to remove the temporarily closed, he's wanting to reopen, but that button wasn't there like it was on mine. So what's the answer to that? Why is that the case? Well, I can only assume, and again, tell me if you think it's different in the comments below, but I can only assume that different categories have different things that are opened up to them. So it appears that many couldn't open up because the government in that area for that category, probably working with Google, has said that at the moment these areas, these businesses or these categories can't reopen. And so that facility to reopen a business was kind of removed from many of the Google My Business dashboards. Or it could be that there's something there that you see and it's limited because it only appears for, say, estate agents, or it only appears for, say, restaurant owners or people that own perhaps theatres or cinemas. They've got some unique things that you can't get in any other category. So it's worth bearing in mind that even though a certain business will have something that you can read about or you might see in one of my videos on YouTube, Google My Business doesn't always have the same thing for everyone. So if you find that there's a facility that you can't use, then maybe that's just down to the fact that that's your business, that's your category, that's your area. And that hopefully answers that question as to why sometimes things don't appear in your category. So let's just take one final thing then, that if you're here because of you're not wanting questions and answers as such, you're looking more for an FAQ understanding of how you can add FAQs onto Google My Business. So it could be that you just want to answer a question for your customers, then this is a final little tip that I'm just going to jump into now and show you how to do that.
Then you'll notice here on my knowledge panel, see all questions. And this is the area that you go to. And you don't really need to log in. You just need to just go to your own one from an external search for your company. And you can ask a question and answer your own question. And that might seem a bit back to front, but actually it's a great way of putting keywords in. And also Google recommends it. So if you want to know, do you have a certain product, or if you have a genuine question that people are asking you, then you could encourage them to ask a question on here. Most people won't do that, but if you do, you just literally put in a question. And what Google's doing is it's beginning to find answers too. So let's just say, if someone asks, am I open on Sundays? And as I'm typing, you'll notice it tries to find answers too. So that speaks about being open for business. That talks about changing of hours. And then it's just looking to see if there's anything there that might relate to the word Sunday, which it doesn't. So are you open Sundays? Post. And then I've finished. And now I can answer that question as well. So I can now take this question, which I've asked, and I can answer it. So answer, and the answer is no, I'm not open Sundays. But at this point, I could also just put a keyword in. So what would be a keyword that's relevant to me? Well, I'm a designer, a web designer. So I could say, but I am open for web design work from Monday to Friday. And in that way then, what have I done? Well, I've answered a question, but I've also put the word web design. And that all helps, doesn't it? In fact, I could even say in the Bournemouth area. And in that way, then what I'm doing is I'm still giving some information, it's relevant. And also if people are asking whether I'm open Sundays, then it does answer that question too. And I can now post this. And hopefully that's a useful then question that helps you to just, again, add keywords into your Google My Business, and without being spammy, but just making it useful as well for your customers. Now, hopefully all those questions have been useful, but as I said, you do need to put your question down below in the comments, and I will do my best to update another video with answers to your questions. And at the same time, if you find that you're still wanting to grow your business, then this video here is going to really help you to do that through using Google My Business.